How y'all doing today? Welcome to today's episode of Millionaire Mindset. John, this is Troy. Sorry about last week. I deleted the footage we had by mistake. So last week we didn't record because we had the second part of our previous episode in the stash. But it was a blessing in disguise because what we decided to do, last week's was a two-part episode because we shot for 34 minutes. And we were splitting it into 17-minute increments. But what we decided was we're giving out a lot of information and we want people to be able to digest it and process it properly. So instead of giving so much information across 17-20 minutes, we're just going to try to bring it down to about 6-7 minutes. We're not going to put a time limit on it, but no more than 7-8 minutes, so people got time to listen, really digest what we got to say, and we want to make sure every word and every line counts and not, ramble as much as, we still getting the hang of this, still new. So today's episode is about decide, commit, succeed. It's going to be in 3 parts. And the first part obviously would have to be decide, because before you commit to anything and you succeed at anything, first you have to make the decision on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And to kick the topic off, we want to start with a quote by James Allen. James Allen is famous for a book called
As a Man Thinketh.
As a Man Thinketh, and this quote is from
Passion to Peace.
And here's the quote.
The quote says, "Mind is the master power that molds and makes. And man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. Our environment is but our looking glass."
He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. The environment is our looking glass. If you remember from an earlier episode, Troy said that so often our environment dictates who we are, and it should be the other way around. So the environment is the looking glass, is that the environment is what you see, the environment is what you want to impact, but the environment is not who you are inside. And what we try to focus on is the internal struggle that people have opposed to the external. It's a lot of things that happens in the world we have no control over, but what we do have control over is what happens internally with us. And the line before that is, he thinks in secret and then he does. And that's all the time. Everything that we want to be great at, everything we want to be accomplished, sometimes some people keep it to themselves, and then they keep it to themselves until it's ready for the show people. Like, and a perfect example is this forum. A lot of people know me and him for different things, and seeing us in different lights in different situations, but they never knew that this is the type of thing that we've been passionate about since we were kids. We wasn't in an environment where you could talk like this just sitting out on the steps, or we were in an environment or situations where we didn't have the knowledge to communicate the way we're communicating now. So this is something that we plotted in secret amongst each other, but we didn't share it until we was ready to broadcast it to everyone. So when we go to the decision-making process, in order to make a informed decision about anything, you got to understand who you are. And to understand who you are, you got to think about what you love, what are you passionate about. And sometimes that takes deprogramming from the way you was raised. You might have been raised to do one thing, but your passions run another way. So in order to make any decision, you got to understand who you are internally. It takes a lot of introspection, internal thought. Like, you got to be really deep into who you are as a person before you even make the first step of creating a goal. Because once you find what you're passionate about, what you love and what you're good at, you find the goal. Once you find that goal, you committed to it. And then after the commitment, what's the next step? You succeeding at it, because we don't even look at failure as an option.
Failure is never an option. There's no such thing
At all.
What we see in our mind, we bring forth. And if what you see today is failure, then that's on you. Just like there are self-made millionaires, there are self-made failures.
Mm-hmm.
It's the flip side to the coin. But not everybody's gonna blame it on something else. Or, I did it, and it could be the smallest things. You blame it on traffic, weather. I ain't going outside to make sales today because of the weather. But the real salesperson is out there making sales because he gets banking on you not doing it. We have to decide what we're gonna do. If a kid is inspired to play basketball and he decides that he's gonna be a basketball player, somewhere in his mind he's gonna decide to dunk. I'm quite sure every person in the NBA league right now or on a basketball court could tell you they decided in their mind first. They seen themselves dunking before they actually physically did it. So people say my world is upside down. That's false. Because if your world was upside down, then you'd be in the proper state that you would want to be in. If you see you're catching the bus, but you want to drive a Bentley, your mind ain't right. You got to shift. It's an upgrade. It's a level, and these things don't happen instantly. You got to decide what you're going to do. You come up with a plan, and you put it in action. And this is just what, it's got to be something that you fully have your heart into. Biggie said, "The sky's the limit," that only make moves if your heart's in it.
Yeah.
If your heart not in it, then you don't need to do it. It's probably not a good option for you if your heart not in it.
Surface success is not success. Surface, the word I used was surface. I kind of sped through that. And the reason I say that is because we want to do things sometimes that on the surface we know it'll bring us money. On the surface we know it'll bring us status. On the surface it know it'll bring us acceptance. But that's not what we love. So it's surface success. You might succeed at something that you think the environment, back to the environment as our looking glass, that you think is successful by environment standards, where you come from, or society standards. So the first step in making that decision again is internalize it, find out what you're passionate about, what you love, understand what tools do you need to make it in the field that you want to make it in, because we're not going to tell you do what you're good at, because you can be good at anything you decide to do, but what tools do you need to find that success? And that's the step in the decision-making process, and that's the first step to success. So we're going to end it there with decision, and we're going to come back and give y'all what we decide when you get to the commitment stage. Not what we decide, what you decide when you get to the commitment stage. So first part, decision. I'm John, this is Troy, signing off.